Hey guys, Mo here. I finally got off my butt and built my Carbon Fibre custom keyboard. I've been sitting on this for well over a year with parts just sitting in the corner of my room, waiting. Now what you're about to watch is my journey through pain and suffrage in order to achieve ultimate holy keyboard bliss. I just wanted to state that I'm no expert of mechanical keyboards and its components. I just wanted to build one and enjoy it. Also, all my friends have one and I just wanted one for myself. Now for a bit of background, the custom keyboards I built was by Skippy's Custom PCs, and the first one is called the RooBoard 65, which in its name is 65%. I also built the RooPad, which is just the numpad section. The store Skippy's Custom PCs had a huge 75% off shutting down clearance sale, and I was able to get my hands on a bunch of stuff that is needed to build a keyboard, such as the board, stabilizers, USB cables, carbon fiber housing plates for the RooPad. I was able to get everything needed for the RooPad, but the two things I had needed was the aluminum feet and the housing carbon fiber plate for the RooBoard 65, and is the main reason why this sat in the corner of my room for well over a year. I do remember when I received the parts initially, what I did was I contacted the store about it, and they suggested using a keyboard editor tool in order to design the keyboard housing plates myself, in which I did and transferred the layout to FreeCAD. I eventually made the front and back housing plates. I tried to replicate the design as much as I could through looking at images on their website and Instagram. I uploaded my designs to PCBWay, and in Carbon Fibre I was quoted 185 Australian dollars, in which I said no thank you. Too much money, no good. But then a year later I found the box of the stuff and thought, screw it, let's do it. I re-uploaded the designs to PCBWay, asked for a discount, and I got about 25 bucks off. And they made it so. The front panel came out perfectly, but the rear panel was slightly damaged on one side, which I contacted them about, and they agreed to redo the part. As of this moment, they remade it, but it was in a lot more of a worse condition. It's as if they rushed it, especially you could tell by the logos. Looks like I'll be avoiding them next time, but either way, I'll go with the first design as I'm out of time. It looks so cool, and it was pretty easy and a simple process. I did end up getting a partial refund, obviously because the other part worked out great. The stabilizers I used are the Durock V2 in Smoke Grey. It came with some acoustic foam stuff, and I was recommended by a friend. The switches, Cherry MX Blue. Again, was recommended by them by a friend, and I wanted clickety-clack switches for the sound and feel. I wanted people to know I'm doing things. I chose these keycaps because I like the retro vintage keyboard look. These are the OTC Omicron 9009 keycaps, the complete set. I didn't have my hands on the aluminum feet, so I just googled them and I was able to find them at a somewhat decent price. I have all my ingredients, now let's combine this together. I began by installing the stabilizers on the board, applied lube, and I applied the acoustic foam that came with the kit. I then installed the top panel and then the switches. I kept doing key tests and noticed some switches weren't making adequate contact with the board, and also that for the right arrow switch there was a trace damage, in which I fixed by soldering a resistor leg wire from the switch holder mount to the corresponding diode. Now this is the part that took me the longest. I have no clue why it was such a struggle, as everything lined up great between the switches, the front panel, and the board. I could tell it's quite tight, the switch holes for the front panel, but with wear and tear over the years, it will kind of loosen it up. As of this moment, I have to use certain amount of force to pop them out. The switches, I mean. I attached those standoffs, I attached the feet to the back panel. I also fixed issues with misalignment with the stabilizers that caused the spacebar to jam in place. Time for the keycaps, the OTC 9009. I checked each switch and finally attached the Ta-da! Look at it. It looks so beautiful. It brings a tear to my eye. It looks really clean, and I'm so happy that it turned out so well. It looks fantastic. It sounds great. It reminds me of an old typewriter. I love the sound, and it reminds me of crunching on the teeth of my enemies. It did take me quite a while to actually put it together, tight tolerances, and I was being extremely delicate while assembling it. I got stabbed by the switches a few times. Pretty tough to install them, but I reckon after some time of popping the switches in and out, it would essentially fix itself. Now I had to fix the code for the RooBoard 65. I have gotten the default hex file from the QMF config site, and I think it was a programming issue where I was a row of keys off and the RGB LEDs did not work. I had to get my hands on the source. I fixed it, and you can find a fixed version on my GitHub with all the other bits and bobs like the STL for the RooBoard, scans of the numpad, and so forth. To note, I only did this for archival backup purposes. For instance, maybe someone out there is in a similar predicament where they have a board with no chassis plate or panel, or they have broken chassis frame bits and wants to get another one and simply not throw it away. In conclusion, this project was quite a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoy working with electronics and tinkering in general. It's a great option for beginners, especially if it comes as a complete kit for those who are interested in building their own customized keyboards. It does remind me of those electronic hobby kits, except this is engaging long after you've built them. However, with so many keyboard designs, switch types available, it's easy to overspend if you're not careful. It's important to do some research before starting such a project. Additionally, it's disappointing that the company behind this keyboard is no longer in business, which means there's no support or warranty available. Despite the unique Australian touch with the kangaroo motif, the lack of support is a drawback. Overall, I had a great time and I'm pleased with the custom keyboard I now have. Am I ever going to build another custom keyboard? Probably not, and I'll most likely keep this one for a number of years. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos. Please like, subscribe, and share. You can also follow me on social media such as TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. And if you'd like to support my work, I have a Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee available. See you later.